You're living right now, but how much of your life feels truly yours? How often do you find yourself stuck, waiting for the right moment to make a move, only to watch time slip away? There's something inside you that's tired of waiting, tired of putting things off, tired of feeling powerless. This video is about grabbing back control and ending the cycle of avoidance that holds you back every single day. Imagine what it would feel like to face the thing you've been dodging, to break free from that weight on your shoulders, and finally take one simple action that changes everything. This isn't about big leaps or perfect plans. It's about starting right now, right where you are, with one step forward. Stay with me, because what you do next could rewrite your story forever. The power to change is already inside you. It's time to use it. Number 1, decide exactly what you want from your life today. What are you waiting for? You're not lost. You're not confused. You've just been avoiding a decision, a real one, a decision that demands clarity, that demands honesty, that demands you stop lying to yourself about what you really want. Most people never take control of their lives because they never sit down and ask the hard question. What do I truly want from my life? Not what my parents want, not what society tells me, not what sounds safe. I'm talking about you. What you want deep down, that thing you keep burying under distractions, under fear, under other people's expectations. If you don't make that decision, life will make it for you. And I promise you, when life chooses for you, it won't be what you want. You'll wake up one day and realize you've been living someone else's story. You'll wonder where the time went. You'll wonder how the years slipped through your fingers while you waited for a sign or some perfect moment that never came. The truth is, life doesn't wait. It doesn't slow down for your fears. It doesn't pause because you're unsure. It moves forward, with or without your permission. And if you're not clear about what you want, then you're going to be pulled in 1,000 directions that don't lead anywhere. You'll be busy, but not fulfilled. You'll be productive, but not purposeful. You'll be exhausted, but not proud. So I'm going to ask you the question again. This time I want you to answer it like your future depends on it, because it does. What do you want from your life today? You can't change your life until you decide what you want from it. That's where control begins. That's where power starts to build. Most people think they need motivation. They think they need more time or better tools or someone to push them. But none of that matters if you haven't made a clear decision about what kind of life you want to live. And don't just say, I want to be happy. That's not enough. Everyone wants to be happy. Be specific. Say it like it means something. Say, I want to wake up every day feeling strong and in control. Or I want to build a business that gives me freedom. Or I want to lose 30 pounds and feel confident in my own skin. Or I want to stop feeling stuck and finally start building a life that feels like mine. If you're vague, your results will be vague. If you're clear, your path becomes clear. That's not philosophy. That's reality. See, there's a power in decisions most people never tap into. A real decision cuts away the noise. A real decision makes the excuses shrink. Once you decide, truly decide, your mind starts to focus. It starts to filter out the nonsense. It starts to find ways forward. That's not magic. That's how the human mind works when you stop feeding it fear and start feeding it direction. People spend years building a life they don't even want because they never stop to define what they do want. They follow the crowd. They chase what looks popular. They do what they think they're supposed to do. And they wonder why they feel empty. They wonder why nothing feels right. It's because they never decided what success meant to them. So let's make this real. Not someday, not when you feel ready. Today. I'm telling you right now, today is the only day that matters. Not tomorrow. Not next year. Today. Decide what you want your health to look like. Do you want to be strong? Do you want to have energy? Do you want to feel proud of the body you live in every day? Decide what you want your career or your income to look like. Are you building something? Are you growing? Are you earning what you're worth? Are you doing something that actually matters to you? Decide what you want from your relationships. Do you want to be around people who respect you, support you, challenge you to be better? Or are you still spending time with people who drain your energy and waste your time? Decide what kind of mindset you want to wake up with every day. Do you want to be someone who's focused, calm, driven? Or are you just letting the world decide how you feel based on whatever happens? You can't wait to feel ready. You have to decide first, because readiness doesn't come before the decision. It comes after. Confidence doesn't show up before the choice. It grows from it. You're not going to feel certain before you begin. That's not how this works. You decide what you want, and then you fight for it. Every single day. And yes, it's hard. Yes, it takes effort. But you know what's harder? Regret. Regret for the things you didn't try. Regret for the years you wasted. Regret for the potential you ignored. That pain, it lasts a lifetime. The pain of discipline fades. The pain of regret grows. You choose. You've got one shot at this life. One. And it's not endless. The clock is ticking whether you act or not. Whether you decide or drift. Whether you show up or stay small. And every day you avoid the decision is a day you lose to fear, to comfort, to doubt. You weren't born to live a random life. You weren't put here to survive Monday to Friday and scroll through weekends hoping something changes. You're here to build something. To grow into someone. To create a life that feels honest. That feels earned. That feels yours. But it won't happen by chance. It happens when you draw the line. When you say, this is what I want, and I'm done waiting for someone else to hand it to me. It happens when you stop chasing comfort and start chasing growth. When you stop asking for permission and start moving with intention. So decide. Decide what kind of life you want to wake up to. Decide what kind of person you want to become. Decide what you're no longer willing to tolerate. Decide what matters to you, not tomorrow, not someday, right now. And once you make that decision, you hold it. You don't let fear talk you out of it. You don't let failure scare you off. You don't let anyone with smaller dreams water down your vision. You stay with it. You fight for it. You work for it. Not because it's easy, but because it's yours. You don't need perfect conditions. You don't need permission. You need a clear mind and a made-up heart. So take control of your life today. Decide, and never look back. Number 2, remove one negative influence holding you back now. You are not stuck. You are being held back by something you refuse to remove. And deep down, you already know what it is. That one thing that keeps pulling you down every time you try to rise. That one person who drains you the moment you feel strong. That one habit that robs your energy right when you start building momentum. That one voice, external or internal, that keeps feeding your doubt when you try to move forward. If you're serious about changing your life, you can't ignore this any longer. You have to face it. You have to remove it. Growth is not just about adding new things. It's also about cutting away what's hurting you. And sometimes the thing that's hurting you the most is right next to you every day. Maybe it's a toxic relationship. Maybe it's a friend who never celebrates your wins. Maybe it's the voice in your own head that says you're not enough. It might even be a routine that numbs you or a habit that keeps you comfortable but unfulfilled. Whatever it is, it's costing you too much to keep it. You can't build a strong life while holding on to something that weakens you. You can't stay around someone who makes you feel small and still expect to feel powerful. It doesn't work. Life won't make room for your next level if you're still clinging to what belongs to your past. Now, this is not easy. Cutting ties with something that's been part of your life for years, it's not painless. You might feel fear. You might feel guilt. You might feel lonely at first. But the question is not what you'll feel in the moment. The question is what kind of life you want to feel for the rest of your life. If someone in your life constantly puts you down, ignores your growth, or manipulates you into staying the same, that is not love. That is control. And if you've accepted that energy for too long, I understand why it feels hard to break away. But you need to ask yourself, what is it costing you to stay? If you're waking up drained, uninspired, unfocused, full of anxiety, there's a reason. And it's not always life being unfair. Sometimes it's the people you allow into your space. Sometimes it's the habits you allow to repeat. Sometimes it's the thoughts you refuse to challenge. You only get one mind. You only get one emotional state. You only get one shot to build a life that reflects your values. And if you're surrounding yourself with things that poison your energy, you will never feel in control. You'll always feel like you're running uphill while something is tied around your ankle. Don't underestimate the damage that one negative influence can do over time. Just one. One toxic person can ruin your self-esteem. One bad habit can steal years of your potential. One repeated lie in your mind can keep you stuck in survival mode instead of pushing into your full strength. So it's time to do something most people never do. It's time to be honest about what's killing your peace, about what's stealing your confidence, about what's stopping your growth. You already know what it is. You've just been avoiding it, but no more. Removing a negative influence is not about hate. It's about self-respect. It's not about revenge. It's about healing. It's not about being cold. It's about choosing peace over chaos, strength over weakness, direction over distraction. Think about how much energy you waste managing things you don't even want in your life. Think about how many times you've adjusted your goals to fit around someone else's comfort. Think about how often you've sacrificed your boundaries to keep someone else comfortable. That's not growth. That's self-abandonment. You have the right to protect your peace. You have the right to walk away from anything that doesn't match your vision. You have the right to grow, even if someone else doesn't want you to. You have the right to change, even if your old life resists it. Some people will guilt you for outgrowing them. Some habits will scream to stay alive when you try to quit them. That's normal. That's expected. That's the resistance that comes before the breakthrough. But you don't stop because it's uncomfortable. You keep moving because you know what's on the other side. You have to get serious about your space, who and what you allow in. Not everything deserves your attention. Not everyone deserves your time. Not every emotion deserves your reaction. And not every past story deserves to keep repeating. Remove the thing. Remove the person. Remove the pattern. And then stand in the space that's left. Don't rush to fill it. Learn to sit with the silence that comes after disconnection. That silence is where your clarity grows. That silence is where your strength returns. That silence is where your next chapter begins. Some people will tell you to just keep going. But if you're dragging weights behind you, moving forward won't help. You have to drop the weight first. That's not quitting. That's choosing what matters more. It might mean ending a relationship that feels safe but shallow. It might mean leaving a job that pays you but kills your spirit. It might mean cutting a habit that gives you comfort but takes your focus. It might even mean facing your own inner critic and refusing to believe it anymore. Whatever it is, it's time. Not when things get worse. Not when you hit rock bottom. Not when someone else tells you to do it. Right now, because you deserve better. You deserve a life that reflects the effort you're willing to give it. Stop waiting for something to change. Be the one who makes the change. Stop expecting a different life while tolerating the same things. You don't get progress without decisions. And this is one of the biggest decisions you'll ever make. You can remove one negative influence today. Just one. That one thing that's always in the way. That one thing that makes everything harder. It doesn't have to be dramatic. It just has to be clear. You can distance yourself. You can create a boundary. You can make a choice that honors your future. And when you do, you'll feel it. You'll feel the energy come back. You'll feel your focus sharpen. You'll feel lighter, stronger, clearer, because now you're no longer fighting your own life just to survive the day. You're free to build something better. You can't move forward while holding hands with what's holding you back. Let go. Stand up. Choose better. Take control of your life by removing what's been controlling you. Now, not later. Not someday. Right now. Number 3. Set a daily schedule and follow it without excuses. You will never build the life you want if your days are being wasted without a plan. People talk about dreams. They talk about goals. They talk about becoming better, richer, stronger, smarter. But what most of them never do is take control of their time. You want to take control of your life? Then start by taking control of your day, because the day is all you've got. The day is where it all happens. If you lose the day, you lose the week. If you lose the week, you lose the month. If you lose the month, you lose the year. And before you know it, you're sitting in the same spot, wondering why nothing ever changes. You don't need more time. You need more discipline with the time you already have. You don't need a miracle. You need structure. You don't need more motivation. You need a clear schedule that runs whether you feel like it or not. Excuses won't build anything. Only action does. And action begins with order. You know what it feels like to wake up with no direction, to scroll aimlessly, to chase every distraction, to waste hours doing things that add nothing to your life. You know what that does to your confidence. You know what it does to your energy. You feel it in your chest, that tightness that comes from knowing you could be doing more, but you aren't. It's time to take your power back. You have 24 hours, just like everyone else. The successful don't have more time. They use what they have with precision. They treat their time like gold, not something to throw away. They don't wait to feel like it. They follow the plan. They don't break the schedule for comfort. They break comfort by following the schedule. You need a plan that's real, not a wish list, not a fantasy. A real schedule that reflects what matters most. That includes your goals, your health, your personal growth, your non-negotiables. A real structure for your life, not just for your tasks. Because a person with a schedule is a person with purpose, and a person without one is just reacting to whatever comes next. So start today. Sit down and create a schedule that you can follow. Wake up time, workout time, learning time, work blocks, breaks, meals, wind down, all of it. Set it with intention. No guessing, no hoping. You decide when and what and how. Then you follow it. That's where the strength is built. Now the mind will resist. It will look for a way out. It will try to justify delay. It will say things like, I'm tired, or I'll do it tomorrow, or I don't feel like it. That's the enemy talking. And if you listen to it, you stay exactly where you are. You have to override that voice every single day. You are not weak. You are just undisciplined. And that's not a character flaw. That's a habit. One that you can change, not by hoping, not by waiting, but by doing. Discipline grows when you act against resistance. When you stick to the schedule, even when it's uncomfortable. Especially when it's uncomfortable. Excuses are a habit too. So you have to break that habit every morning. Get up on time. Stick to the first task. No negotiation. You follow the plan. Because it matters. Because you matter. Because your life is too important to leave to chance. Don't aim for perfection. Aim for consistency. You will make mistakes. You will slip sometimes. That doesn't mean you stop. That means you get back to it. That means the schedule doesn't break. You adjust and keep going. Because that's how real success is built. Through daily repetition, not occasional effort. Think about this. Every time you skip your schedule, you're teaching yourself that your own plan doesn't matter. You're sending a message to your mind that your priorities are flexible, that your word to yourself is not worth much. But when you show up, no matter how small the task, you're proving to yourself that you can be trusted, that your word means something, that your future matters to you. There are people who want your attention every second. Social media, streaming shows, notifications. They don't care about your growth. They just want your time. And if you don't have a schedule, they will win. You'll look up after hours and wonder where the day went. Don't let that happen again. A schedule is not restriction. It's freedom. The freedom to get things done and still have time left over. The freedom to rest without guilt. The freedom to build the life you actually want. Because nothing feels better than knowing you're on track, that you didn't waste the day, that you made it count. This isn't about being a machine. This is about living with purpose. You don't need to fill every second, but you do need to take responsibility for your time. The hours you waste now don't come back later. They're gone. And so are the opportunities that could have come with them. You want to feel more confident? Stick to your schedule. You want to feel stronger? Stick to your schedule. You want to grow in any area of your life? Stick to your schedule. Because the schedule is the tool that gets you out of your emotions and into action. Make it simple. Make it real. Wake up at the same time every day. Set a clear time to focus. Set a time to move your body. Read something. Write something. Work on your goals. Set time for family. Time for quiet. Time for sleep. Block it out. Then honor it. You might not control everything in life, but you do control your time. And if you take that seriously, everything else changes. Because you're not just drifting anymore. You're driving. You're choosing. You're leading your life instead of following your mood. And don't wait to feel ready. That feeling won't come. Start before you feel like it. That's how you build the strength to keep going. Start with one day, then two, then a week. Soon enough, it becomes who you are, not just something you try. There's no magic to this, just the decision to follow through. You don't need to explain yourself to anyone. Just build your schedule, stick to it, let the results speak. You want more discipline, more results, more pride? It starts with what you do every hour. Start treating your day like it matters, and watch what happens to your life. You have what it takes, but now it's time to prove it to yourself every single day. No excuses, no delays. You follow your schedule because your goals are worth it, because you are worth it. Start now, not later. Build the life you want, one disciplined day at a time. Number 4, take full responsibility for every choice you make. If your life is not where you want it to be, look in the mirror. That's where the answer is. Not in the economy, not in the government, not in your past. It's in your decisions. You see, until you take full responsibility for every choice you make, you will always find someone or something else to blame. And as long as you're blaming, you're stuck. There's no growth in blame. There's no progress in pointing fingers. That moment you finally say, I chose this, is the same moment you take your power back. It's not easy. In fact, it's one of the hardest things you'll ever do to stand up and say, the reason I'm here is because of the decisions I made. That's a level of ownership most people avoid their entire lives. They'd rather explain. They'd rather make excuses. They'd rather convince themselves that circumstances shaped their life. But deep down, they know the truth. Just like you do. You chose how to spend your time. You chose who to keep around. You chose how to treat your body. You chose what to believe about yourself. And every one of those choices shaped your reality. That's not something to be ashamed of. That's the key. That's what sets you free. Because if you created this, then you can change it. Responsibility isn't about guilt. It's about freedom. Because if you're not responsible, then who is? If it's someone else's fault, then what power do you have? None. You're just a passenger hoping the world gives you a better ride. But when you take responsibility, you become the driver. You decide where you're going. You decide how you'll respond to challenges. You decide what your next move is. People love to say they want change, but most of them don't want responsibility. Because responsibility demands action. It demands accountability. It demands that you stop hiding behind the story, that life is unfair, and instead start creating a life that's meaningful. You made choices in the past that led you to pain. So what? Everyone has. The question is, what will you do next? Will you learn from those choices, or will you keep repeating them and pretending that you had no say? That's the turning point. That's the split in the road. Do you stay the same and stay comfortable in blame, or do you rise and own it all? Your health, your finances, your mindset, your relationships, all of them are shaped by decisions, tiny choices, daily habits, moments of silence when you should have spoken, moments of reaction when you should have paused, moments where you chose the easy path instead of the one that required growth. And the honest truth is, nothing gets better until you decide to own every single one of those moments. This is the greatest form of self-respect, to say, it's my life, and I take full control of it. Because no one is coming to save you. No one is coming to fix your problems. No one is going to hand you your dream life. That's on you. And the more responsibility you take, the more strength you gain. You want confidence? Start by accepting full responsibility. You want peace of mind? Take responsibility. You want to become someone you're proud of? You guessed it, own your choices. It's not glamorous, it's not flashy, it's real, and it's powerful. Because there is nothing more powerful than someone who refuses to be a victim. This isn't about being perfect. You'll mess up, you'll make bad calls. That's part of being human, but you own those too. You learn, you adapt. You don't pretend someone else did it. You say, that was on me, and now I'll fix it. That kind of person becomes unstoppable, because nothing can shake them. They've seen themselves fall, and they've chosen to rise. You might not have chosen your childhood. You might not have chosen the pain others caused you. But now, you choose what to do with it. You choose whether to use it as fuel or as a crutch. You choose whether to grow stronger or stay wounded. You choose whether to repeat the patterns or break them for good. There are people who will never understand this. They'll cling to blame. They'll call you cold or arrogant for refusing to play victim. Let them talk. You've got a life to build. You've got a future that depends on you stepping up and taking command of your direction. Not tomorrow, not someday. Now, if your circle is toxic, you chose to stay. If your habits are damaging, you chose to continue them. If your results are low, you chose not to demand more from yourself. And that means you can also choose the opposite. You can choose better people, better habits, higher standards. It's all in your hands. And yes, it takes courage. Courage to admit you were wrong. Courage to admit you wasted time. Courage to admit you could have done better. But that courage is the foundation of transformation. You don't grow by pretending. You grow by facing reality head on and deciding that you're done being passive about your life. This is where greatness begins. Not in talent, not in luck, but in responsibility. Because when you fully accept responsibility, you stop waiting and start moving. You stop hoping and start doing. You stop complaining and start creating. That's when you become dangerous. That's when you start to separate yourself from the crowd. You are not a product of your environment. You are a product of your decisions. The power is yours now. What will you do with it? What will you change? Who will you become once you stop handing your power away? You already know what needs to change. You've known for a long time, but knowledge without responsibility is wasted. It's time to act, not when it feels right, not when someone approves, but now, because your life isn't waiting, and neither is your potential. This is your moment to reclaim control. No more blaming, no more excuses, no more waiting for someone to rescue you. Own your story, own your steps, own your outcome. The life you want is waiting for you to take full responsibility for the life you've got. Start today. Make the next choice better than the last. Accept everything that led you here, and then rise above it. Your power is not in what happens to you. It's in how you respond. And that starts with full, unapologetic, personal responsibility. Take it, and never give it away again. Number 5, cut out distractions that waste your mental energy. If your mind is constantly tired, it's not because you're doing too much. It's because you're doing too much of what doesn't matter. Every single day, you wake up with a limited amount of energy, focus, and willpower. And if you don't protect it like your life depends on it, the world will steal it piece by piece until there's nothing left for the things that actually move your life forward. Most people don't burn out from doing hard work. They burn out from letting distractions drain them before they even get to what really matters. Let's be honest. You're not here to be average. You're not waking up to waste your mental fuel on things that make no difference in the long run. You're not built for scrolling for hours, replying to nonsense, or getting trapped in conversations that go nowhere. Yet that's where your energy goes, day after day, and you know it. The tabs open on your screen, the notifications screaming for your attention, the habits that seem harmless, but slowly rob you of your power. It adds up. The real war isn't out there, it's inside your mind. And if you don't win that battle every single day, you'll look up one day and wonder where your time, drive, and fire went. Distraction doesn't feel dangerous until it becomes your default. And by then, you're stuck in a loop, busy but not productive, tired but not fulfilled, moving but not advancing. That loop will keep you stuck for years unless you snap out of it. You have to reclaim your attention. You have to sharpen your mind like a weapon and direct it towards something meaningful. Because mental energy is not infinite. Once it's gone for the day, it's gone. And if you keep spending it on low-value things, you'll keep getting low-value results. It's not about time management anymore. It's about attention management. Think about the people who inspire you, the ones who built something real, who changed their lives, who became the strongest version of themselves. They didn't do it by staying distracted. They weren't tuned into every alert, every tweet, every meaningless update. They locked in. They went deep. They cleared the noise. And that gave them the clarity and momentum you're craving right now. You might not see it happening, but every distraction pulls you a little further away from your power. It breaks your flow. It weakens your ability to focus. And most dangerously, it convinces you that you're doing something when you're really not. You start confusing motion with progress. You feel busy, But deep down, you know you're avoiding the hard things. The important things, the things that would actually elevate your life. You don't need more hours in the day. You need fewer leaks in your focus. You need to cut the mental noise. You need to shut the door on the things that don't serve you. That means silencing your phone. That means walking away from people who constantly dump negativity into your mind. That means saying no to things that steal your clarity, just so you can get back to what matters. Your dreams are expensive. They cost focus. They cost effort. They cost sacrifice. And the more distractions you carry, the less you can afford to pay the price. You can't have a deep, powerful life if you're constantly living on the surface. You can't reach your potential if your mind is divided 20 different ways. The truth is, you already know what's draining you. It's not a mystery. It's the same behaviors, the same apps, the same conversations that keep dragging you back to the same level. So stop waiting for the perfect moment to change. Stop lying to yourself that you'll get serious tomorrow. Start today. Clean your environment. Simplify your life. Protect your time like it's sacred, because it is. Build a daily routine that puts your focus first, and stick to it like your future depends on it, because it does. This isn't about being perfect. It's about being intentional. It's about choosing what gets your attention and what doesn't. Because once you control your focus, you control your life. The people who win in this world are not always the smartest. They're the ones who can lock in day after day without letting distraction take them off course. It's not flashy. It's not fun at first, but it works. And the deeper you go, the more you realize how powerful it is to have a clear mind, to be able to think deeply, to be able to work for hours on what matters without needing constant stimulation. That's where the breakthroughs happen. That's where the growth lives. That's where the life you've been chasing actually starts to take shape. You have goals, you have dreams, but they'll stay dreams unless you protect your mental energy like your life depends on it, because it does. You only get one mind, one attention span, one shot. Don't waste it on things that won't matter a year from now, or even a week from now. Right now you have a choice. You can go back to the noise, back to the distractions, back to the habits that keep you average. Or you can make the decision that changes everything. You can start eliminating what doesn't serve you. You can simplify your life. You can create space for deep work, for real growth, for the kind of focus that moves mountains. It won't be easy. It'll feel uncomfortable at first. You'll feel restless, tempted, pulled back into the cycle. But if you hold the line, if you stay the course, you'll wake up one day with clarity, confidence, and strength you never thought possible. Because focus builds power. Simplicity builds freedom, and energy, when protected, becomes a force that drives everything forward. So don't wait. Cut the noise. Choose discipline. Make space for greatness. Your mind was made for more than being distracted. It was made to create, to build, to conquer. Give it the chance to do that. Start now. Remove the clutter. Refuse the distractions. Build the focus. And watch your life transform. You're not just wasting time when you give in to distraction. You're wasting your future. And you deserve more than that. Take your power back. Get focused. Stay locked in. And don't let anything pull you away again. Number 6. Start building habits that match your life goals. If you don't build habits that match the life you want, you will keep living a life you don't want. Every dream you've ever had, every version of yourself you imagine becoming, every goal that keeps you awake at night, it all hinges on what you do every single day. Not once in a while, not when you feel motivated, but daily, habitually, automatically. That's the truth most people avoid, because it's not glamorous. It's not flashy. It doesn't look good on social media, but it works. Always has. Always will. Look at your current habits, what you do when no one is watching, what you fall back on when you're tired, bored, or stressed. Are those actions helping you reach your goals? Or are they pulling you in the opposite direction? Because you can't want one thing and practice another. That's the silent killer of potential. You say you want discipline, but your habits scream comfort. You say you want growth, but your routines whisper distraction. The gap between where you are and where you want to be is the consistency of your habits. Your life is not built by big moments. It's shaped by small decisions repeated relentlessly. Success doesn't come from sudden breakthroughs. It's built brick by brick, one day at a time. You don't become strong by accident. You don't become wise by chance. You don't reach your goals by wishful thinking. You get there through discipline, clarity, and the willingness to act in alignment with what you say you want. This is where most people lose. They chase motivation but never build systems. They wait for inspiration instead of setting routines. They rely on mood instead of discipline. And the problem is, your mood can't be trusted. Your feelings will lie to you. Your mind will tempt you to do what's easy. That's why habits matter. Because once something becomes automatic, it doesn't need permission. It just happens. That's power. If your goals mean something to you, your actions need to reflect it. If you want to be focused, you need a habit of protecting your attention. If you want to be healthy, you need a system for eating, training, and recovering. If you want financial freedom, you need the discipline to track, plan, and invest day after day. You cannot cheat this. You cannot skip this. You cannot avoid this. Either your habits align with your mission, or they're silently killing it. Think of every person who's ever made you believe that greatness is possible. They weren't born better than you. They weren't luckier than you. They just did the work every single day, even when it wasn't fun, even when no one was watching. They had habits that were stronger than their excuses. That's what separates the successful from the stuck. You don't need a perfect plan. You don't need the best tools. You don't need someone to come save you. You need to choose one habit, just one, that aligns with the life you want, and commit to it relentlessly. Then build another, then another. Stack them. Let them compound. Let them become your identity. And that's when life starts to change, quietly at first, then suddenly all at once. There is no shortcut, no hack, no substitute for showing up consistently. And the moment you accept that is the moment your power begins to rise. Because habits don't just change your actions, they change how you see yourself. You stop saying, I want to write a book, and start being the person who writes every morning. You stop dreaming about being in shape and become the person who trains no matter how they feel. That's identity transformation. That's real evolution. And here's the truth that most people run from. Every day you're reinforcing something. Whether you realize it or not, your habits are either building your confidence or feeding your self-doubt. Every time you follow through, you prove to yourself that you can be trusted. Every time you break your word, you chip away at your belief in yourself. That's why this matters more than anything. Your habits are not just routines. They're evidence. They're proof of who you are becoming. You say you want more. You say you're tired of settling. Then show it. Build it. Wake up earlier. Move your body. Read something powerful. Say no to what distracts you. Plan your day. Stick to it. Repeat. You're not lazy. You're not broken. You're just misaligned. You've been stuck in cycles that don't match your future. But today that changes. Not all at once, but habit by habit. This is your wake-up call. You've waited long enough. You've made enough excuses. Now it's time to act. Start simple. Start small. Start now. Choose habits that serve your goals, not your impulses. Protect them like your life depends on them, because it does. The version of you that wins, that's not some fantasy. That's the result of repeated action, refined identity, and unshakable discipline. Don't wait for the perfect mood to build the right habit. Let the right habit create the right mood. Don't hope you'll be motivated tomorrow. Set systems today so motivation doesn't even matter. Get up, get organized, and get serious. You know what needs to change. You know what's holding you back. You know what you keep putting off. Enough waiting. Enough starting and stopping. Enough being at war with yourself. Make your habits match your future. Let them carry you when motivation fades. Let them remind you who you're becoming. Because when your actions align with your goals, every single day, you don't just change your results. You change your life. And that change starts right now. Number 7. Say no to anything that weakens your self-respect. If it costs you your self-respect, the price is too high. Walk away and never look back. There comes a time in life when you must choose between fitting in and standing tall, between pleasing others and honoring yourself, between being liked and being respected. And that time is now. Because every single time you say yes to something that goes against your values, your boundaries, or your truth, you lose a little more of yourself. You shrink, you fade, and you betray the only person who truly matters, yourself. Too many people are exhausted not from work, not from goals, but from constantly abandoning themselves to meet someone else's expectations. They smile when they want to scream. They agree when they want to say no. They stay when their soul is begging them to leave. And over time, the damage adds up, not just mentally, but spiritually. Your self-respect is the foundation of your power. When you compromise it, everything else begins to crumble. Self-respect isn't just a nice idea, it's your armor. It's the invisible force that decides how you carry yourself, how you're treated, and how far you go in life. The way you talk to yourself, the things you tolerate, the choices you make when no one's watching, that's where it lives. And if you're constantly giving that away, if you're always bending, appeasing, shrinking, then don't be surprised when you feel lost, tired, or resentful. You cannot feel strong while constantly breaking your own code. People will test your boundaries. Life will tempt you to take shortcuts. Your fears will whisper that you need to be liked more than you need to be respected. But hear this loud and clear: approval is temporary. Self-respect is permanent. You can't build a fulfilling life based on guilt, shame, or pretending. You have to draw the line and mean it. You have to say no even when your voice shakes. You have to walk away even when it's hard. Every no you speak from a place of self-respect is a yes to something higher. It's a yes to your growth. It's a yes to your peace. It's a yes to your future. Because when you stop chasing acceptance and start protecting your integrity, your entire life shifts. The people who only liked you when you had no boundaries will disappear. And that's a blessing. Let them go. Because when you finally respect yourself, you attract those who do too. You can't be everything to everyone without being nothing to yourself. You have to learn the sacred art of disappointing others in order to honor your truth. That's not selfish. It's essential. You weren't born to be a doormat. You weren't made to be small. You weren't designed to be used, drained, or disrespected. Your job is not to keep people comfortable. Your job is to grow, evolve, and live with dignity. Think about the things you've said yes to that made you feel weak. The situations, relationships, or habits that drained you. How many times have you felt that gut instinct telling you this isn't right and ignored it? That inner voice, that's your soul. And the more you betray it, the quieter it gets. Until one day you don't even recognize who you've become. That's what happens when you ignore your own boundaries for too long. You don't just lose time, you lose yourself. But here's the truth. It's never too late to reclaim your self-respect. One choice at a time, one boundary at a time, one act of courage at a time. You don't need anyone's permission to stand up for yourself. You don't owe explanations for protecting your peace. You don't have to apologize for having standards. Say no to people who mock your goals. Say no to environments that kill your ambition. Say no to habits that make you feel weak. Say no to anything that tells you to dim your light. Because when you finally stop watering dead plants, when you stop giving your energy to things that deplete you, you begin to rise. You begin to breathe again. You begin to feel your strength returning. You walk taller. You speak with more clarity. You start making decisions from power instead of fear. And that's when everything begins to shift. The world responds differently to someone who refuses to abandon themselves. This isn't about being rude or heartless. It's about being honest, being aligned, being true. You can be kind and still say no. You can be compassionate and still have firm boundaries. You can be generous without being used. It's not one or the other. You don't have to choose between being loving and being respected. Real power is when you embody both. So take a deep breath. Think about your future. The version of you who is calm, confident, respected. Not because they screamed for it, but because they earned it through quiet consistency. That person doesn't compromise for cheap validation. They know what they stand for. They know what they won't tolerate. They speak from truth, not fear. That version of you is waiting, and you can start becoming them today. Start by protecting your time. Stop saying yes when your soul says no. Stop explaining your worth to people committed to misunderstanding you. Stop giving energy to those who drain you, and start investing it in habits, environments, and relationships that lift you. Choose your integrity over your impulse, your standards over temporary satisfaction, your long-term peace over short-term approval. You are not here to be everyone's solution. You are here to grow, to evolve, to lead yourself with honor. And that means saying no, firmly, respectfully, and consistently, to anything that weakens your self-respect. From this moment on, choose yourself. Choose your values, choose your worth, and never again shrink to fit places you've outgrown. You are not for everyone, and that's your power. Respect it, guard it, and never let it go. Number 8, write down your top 3 goals for this year. You are not lost. You're just living without a clear target. And today that ends. There's something powerful that happens when you stop drifting and decide with brutal clarity what you want this year to mean. Not next year, not someday. This year, the one you're in right now. The year that's slipping through your fingers if you don't grab it and shape it with everything you've got. So I want to ask you directly, what are the top 3 goals that if you made them real would change everything for you? If you can't answer that, you're not in control. You're surviving, not leading your life. Most people wake up reacting. They scroll, they stress, they hustle, but they don't aim. They never pause long enough to define what matters. That's why they stay stuck. That's why they feel empty, even after a busy day. They're climbing ladders that lean against the wrong wall. But the second you put your goals in writing, you draw a line in the sand. You separate who you've been from who you're about to become. There's no more hiding behind excuses. No more hoping things change. You're declaring what you want, and you're owning it with your full chest. That's what makes it real. That's what gives your days direction. That's what transforms a vague dream into a living mission. Let me ask you something deep. What are the 3 things that would bring you the most fulfillment, the most peace, the most pride, if you achieved them in the next 12 months? Not what your parents expect, not what society pressures you to want, not what looks good on Instagram. I mean what you want, what your soul quietly whispers in those moments when everything else fades. What would make you proud of yourself when you lay your head down at night? Is it starting a business? Is it finally getting in shape? Is it rebuilding your self-worth? Is it repairing a broken relationship? Is it becoming financially free? Is it finishing a project you've abandoned too many times? Whatever they are, write them down. Not in your head, on paper, on a screen, in a journal, on your mirror, anywhere that makes it real. Because what's written becomes possible. What's vague remains a fantasy. Writing down your goals forces you to commit. It turns your thoughts into blueprints. Don't worry about the how. Don't worry about the timeline. Just name them, because clarity is power. Without clarity, you wander. You chase distractions. You become reactive. But when you have a target, everything changes. You stop wasting time. You stop entertaining nonsense. You stop living on autopilot. Because now you know what matters. And anything that doesn't align gets cut. Think about the last 5 years. How many goals slipped away because you never truly defined them? How many times did you feel frustrated, like something was missing, and couldn't explain why? That's what happens when you don't lead your own life. But it ends today. Today you choose. Today you write your 3 goals down and claim them as your future. Not maybe. Not if everything goes perfectly. No, regardless of what happens. This is what you will pursue with everything you've got. Let this be your turning point. Because once you write them down, something shifts in you. You start walking differently. You start thinking like a builder, not a bystander. You start waking up with purpose, not panic. Every decision becomes simpler because now you have a filter. If it moves you closer to your goals, it stays. If it doesn't, it goes. That's how you take back control. And when life throws curveballs, and it will, you'll still know what to focus on. You won't crumble under pressure because you're anchored to your vision. You'll stop comparing yourself to others because you're locked in on your own path. You won't need external motivation because your goals will fuel you from the inside out. You don't need 50 goals. You don't need a 10-step plan. You need 3 goals that matter so deeply to you that quitting becomes harder than grinding. 3 goals that wake you up early and keep you up late. 3 goals that stretch you, challenge you, grow you. 3 goals that force you to become the kind of person you've always known you could be. This isn't a New Year's resolution. This isn't a social media trend. This is your life. This is your legacy. And if you don't take it seriously, no one else will. So stop playing small. Stop waiting for a sign. Stop delaying what you know you need to do. Grab a pen, open a note, whatever it takes, and write down the 3 goals that, if achieved, would change your life forever. And once you've written them, read them every day. Speak them out loud. Visualize them. And most importantly, act on them. Small steps, daily choices, consistent effort. You don't need to be perfect. You need to be relentless. And every time you feel lost or tired or overwhelmed, come back to those 3 goals. They're your compass. They're your reason. They're your fuel. You've got one life, one shot, 1 year in front of you that could be the most powerful year you've ever lived, if you choose to aim. So don't let this moment pass. Don't let this be another video you watch and forget. Let this be the start of your rise. Let this be the moment you say, I'm done drifting. I'm building now. Now go write them down, post them, own them, and start moving like they're already yours. Because the moment you commit, the universe starts shifting in your favor. Stay focused, stay fierce, and never again live a year without knowing exactly what you're fighting for. Number 9. Speak honestly about what you want to change. You cannot heal what you refuse to confront. And you cannot grow if you won't admit what's breaking you. Too many people suffer in silence, pretending everything's fine, while quietly carrying the weight of unspoken truths. They act like they're okay. They post like they're thriving. But behind closed doors, they're tired of who they've become. They wake up every day knowing there's a version of themselves they haven't stepped into yet. But fear, pride, or shame keeps them from facing it. So they stay stuck in patterns that exhaust them, stuck in roles that don't reflect their real values, stuck in lives they didn't consciously choose. And all of it could change if they simply told the truth. If you want to evolve, if you want to break the cycle, if you want a life that feels aligned instead of forced, you have to speak honestly about what you want to change. You don't need to broadcast it to the world. You don't need anyone's permission, but you do need to stop lying to yourself. You do need to stop pretending you're okay with things that keep you small. You do need to stop brushing off what's eating at you in the dark. Maybe you're in a job that drains you. Maybe your habits have you spiraling. Maybe you've outgrown your environment. Maybe your relationships no longer align with your standards. Maybe your lifestyle is costing you your peace. Whatever it is, stop burying it. Stop pushing it down, hoping it'll go away. It won't. If you don't face it, it grows. If you don't name it, it festers. And it will leak into every part of your life until you decide to get honest. There is raw power in telling the truth to yourself. It might sting. It might shake everything up. But that's where freedom begins. That's when you reclaim your voice. That's when you stop being a passive observer and become the architect of your life again. And I know admitting what needs to change can be terrifying because it means taking responsibility. It means saying, I let this go too long. It means risking the discomfort of change. But the cost of avoiding it is far greater because whatever you don't fix now will demand even more from you later. You can either face temporary pain now or live with permanent regret later. That's the choice. And the truth is, you already know what needs to shift. You've known it for a while. That whisper in your gut, that voice in your chest, it's been speaking to you. The signs have been there. The restlessness, the irritation, the late night frustration, they all point to one thing. Your soul is asking for something different. And if you keep ignoring it, you'll start to resent yourself. Not because you failed, but because you never tried. Because deep down, you knew what needed to be said. You knew what needed to end. You knew what needed to begin. And you stayed silent. You stayed in the loop. You kept pretending. And that self-betrayal is the heaviest weight a person can carry. But here's the breakthrough. It's not too late. No matter how long you've been stuck, you can turn the page right now. All it takes is honesty. Brutal, clear, personal honesty. Ask yourself, what am I tired of pretending I'm okay with? What have I been avoiding because I don't want to deal with the fallout? What would I change if I wasn't afraid of the consequences? Write it down. Speak it out loud. Confess it to yourself in the mirror if you have to. Say the uncomfortable thing, because that uncomfortable thing, that's the key to your next level. That's the door you've been afraid to open. And the moment you speak it, The moment you stop dancing around it and finally look it in the eye, you take your power back. You don't need to have the answers. You don't need the full plan. You just need the courage to be real, to look at your life and say, this part is not working, and I refuse to live another year pretending it is. That's how change begins. Not with motivation, not with some perfect 5-step strategy. It begins with truth. Truth shatters illusions. Truth breaks chains. Truth clears the fog so you can finally see what's possible. And I'm telling you right now, if you have the guts to face your truth, you'll wake up lighter. You'll stop dreading your days. You'll start walking with conviction. You'll stop tolerating things that don't serve you. Because once you name the problem, you can fix it. Once you own the flaw, you can outgrow it. Once you say, this is no longer acceptable, everything around you begins to shift. But silence is the enemy. Pretending is poison. Hiding your truth kills your potential. So don't wait for some crisis to force the change. Don't wait for life to break you just to wake you up. Be honest now. Speak the words you've been afraid to say, even if your voice shakes, even if your heart pounds, even if it means starting from zero. Because the people who build lives they're proud of, they don't hide from the truth. They hunt it. They chase it down. They welcome it even when it burns. Because they know nothing worth having grows in denial. And if you're serious about becoming someone new, then you have to be honest about what the old version of you keeps repeating. So pause. Look around your life. Look inside yourself and get real. What's got to go? What's got to evolve? What have you been lying about to keep the peace? Speak it. Own it. And then act like your life depends on it, because it does. This is your wake-up call. This is your mirror moment. Don't turn away. Don't numb it. Don't bury it. Let this be the day you stop pretending. Let this be the day you look yourself in the eyes and say, no more lies. No more avoiding. From now on, I move forward in truth. Now go speak your truth. Even if no one claps. Even if no one gets it. Even if everything changes. Because the only thing worse than change is staying stuck in a life that doesn't reflect who you really are. Choose honesty. Choose growth. And never again shrink to fit into the spaces you've outgrown. Number 10. Act now on one thing you've been avoiding daily. There's a silent thief stealing your future every single day, and its name is avoidance. You know exactly what I'm talking about. That one thing, that one task, that one call, that one conversation, that one step forward you keep pushing aside because it feels uncomfortable, scary, or just plain exhausting. It lingers in the back of your mind like a shadow, whispering that you'll get to it tomorrow, that it's not urgent, that maybe it'll solve itself, but it doesn't. And every time you avoid it, it grows bigger in your mind, stronger in its grip, and heavier on your soul. Avoidance is not just about procrastination. It's deeper than that. It's about the fears you won't admit, the doubts you hide, the resistance you don't face. It's about the invisible walls you build around your potential, so you don't have to confront the hard truth that change is uncomfortable. But here's the brutal truth. Nobody tells you. Avoidance is the killer of dreams. It's the silent executioner of progress. And if you want to move from where you are to where you want to be, you have to break free from its hold. What if I told you that the moment you act on that one thing you've been avoiding, everything shifts? That the first step through that door of discomfort ignites a chain reaction that will transform your entire day, your mindset, your trajectory, because it does. You see, avoidance feeds on delay. The longer you wait, the more power it gains. But action starves it. Action is the antidote. One move forward dissolves a mountain into a molehill. Think about it. What's the one thing you've been dodging? Maybe it's making a difficult phone call you've been putting off for weeks. Maybe it's starting that project you feel unprepared for. Maybe it's having a conversation you know will change a relationship. Maybe it's sending that email, signing up for that class, or saying no to something that drains you. Whatever it is, it's blocking your growth. Every day you avoid it, you give your power away. You reinforce the belief that discomfort is too much to bear. You train your mind to accept stagnation as safety. But safety is an illusion. Growth only lives on the other side of discomfort. Courage doesn't mean no fear. It means acting in spite of it. I want you to imagine waking up tomorrow and tackling that one thing first. Not later, not maybe, but right then and there. Feel how your chest lifts just at the thought. That's freedom knocking. That's your future calling. That's the beginning of a new story, where you don't let fear or doubt decide your fate. The secret is to start small, but start consistently. It doesn't have to be a giant leap. It just has to be a step. One daily act on that thing you've been avoiding, repeated day after day, compounds into unstoppable momentum. Your confidence will swell. The weight of avoidance will shrink. Doors will open you didn't even know existed. This is not just about productivity. It's about reclaiming your integrity. When you face what you've been dodging, you prove to yourself that your word matters. You strengthen the trust between your desires and your actions. You show your future self that you are dependable, capable, and relentless. Here's a challenge for you. Pick that one thing. Write it down. Make it non-negotiable to take one action on it every single day for the next week. It can be as simple as sending a text, doing 5 minutes of work, or researching a solution. What matters is you start dismantling the habit of avoidance with intentionality and courage. The moment you do this, you'll realize how much power you've given away to procrastination and fear. You'll see how many moments you've wasted pretending the problem wasn't there. You'll feel the electric rush of reclaiming control over your life. And once you've taken that step, don't stop. Keep going. Use the momentum you build to tackle the next avoided task. Before long, avoidance will lose its grip entirely. You'll find yourself stepping boldly into challenges, embracing discomfort, and pushing your limits. Remember, nothing changes if nothing changes. Waiting for motivation or the perfect moment only strengthens the hold of avoidance, but action breaks the cycle. Action builds courage. Action creates results. So stop waiting for tomorrow. Stop doubting your ability to handle what's ahead. Stop hiding behind distractions and excuses. Look straight at that thing you've been avoiding and tell it, not anymore. Then take one small step. Right now, today, because your dreams don't wait. Your potential won't pause. Your life is happening in this moment. And every day you act on what you've been avoiding, you are forging a path toward the life you deserve. This is your call to arms. Your invitation to break free from the invisible chains of avoidance and step into your power. The only way out is through. So get up, act now, and watch as the fear fades and your confidence rises. When you do this, you'll not only change your day, you'll change your destiny. Now go take that step. No more waiting, no more avoiding. Your future is waiting for the courage you have right inside you. Use it.